I'm going to talk about a few topics today, some of which are of popular request. I'm going to talk about navigating romantic and platonic relationships. So I've kind of avoided talking about relationships and friendships. It's still a bit of an intense topic. And I'm going to be honest, I was a bit kind of scared to talk about certain topics. So firstly, I think what's interesting about a lot of neurodivergent friendships is they're very atypical. I would tend to latch on to one or two people at a time. I would put way too much stake into the friendship, and when they would inevitably move on or move town, whatever it was, it would feel like a crushing breakup, like a heartbreak. I didn't know how to have friends properly. I would idolize someone and ignore all of their flaws. And then, yeah, I would just feel this heartbreak when the friendship was over. Also, pretty much every friendship I've had, I have given a different version of myself to the person. I was masking hardcore in order to have different friends. I'd figure out the version of me that they would like the best. And this was obviously exhausting to keep up. I think I've mentioned in previous videos as well, but I have actually lost a few friends when coming out as autistic and trying to be myself and not mask. Some friendships just fell through. I think as well in school especially I was used quite a lot for entertainment. I was kind of just seen as like a character. I didn't really fit in with anyone really. And also people tend to be very black and white with me. They tend to either really not like me and think that I'm, smug. I used to get that a lot. Like people used to think that I was really smug, but I was just probably pulling the wrong facial expression. I tend to smile quite a lot. And then some people latched onto me and kind of got obsessed with me. Like a few people kind of thought I had something figured out that I didn't, and kind of, yeah, this the autistic swag just kind of lured and mesmerized people sometimes. I think relationships definitely are quite difficult to navigate when you're autistic, especially undiagnosed. I was very confused about how relationships worked, and I definitely feel attraction in a very atypical way. I don't really get physically aroused the way a neurotypical person does. So yeah, my first time romantically with someone outside of high school, when I was about 18, I was taken advantage of by someone who clearly knew that, I was quite a vulnerable person. And this person clearly, took advantage of that. And it was extremely traumatic. I actually got put off dating and physical stuff for quite a while. Like it definitely caused a lot of damage. And this happens a lot with neurodivergent people, especially female-bodied people. They tend to get taken advantage of a lot. People can kind of sniff out the vulnerability. I think relationships with family can be quite difficult when you're autistic. I know a lot of people who really struggle with family gatherings and, especially Christmas time. I almost forgot to mention actually, the actual initial act of meeting people in the first place is very difficult if you're on the spectrum. I'm really bad at meeting new people and trusting people. And a lot of social settings where people tend to meet, I'm just not really interested in. I don't like large groups. I don't like dating apps. They have a really fake, upsetting undertone to the whole thing where I just don't like it at all. It's quite difficult to actually meet new people. It's so easy for some of us to get overwhelmed at social responsibility and keeping up appearances. I had that issue when I started this channel and the Instagram account, and I momentarily tried to be a bit more social and to keep up with messaging people, but the reality was I couldn't do it. I was driving myself into burnout trying to message everyone back, and I'm just really not cut out to do that at all. and I feel awful about it, but I have to look after myself. The times that I was most social, I was like drinking quite heavily and masking really heavily. If I try to be as social as I used to be without masking, I just can't do it like at all. I remember like when I was younger, I couldn't do sleepovers because of like just unfamiliar environment. Like if my friend would eventually go to sleep, I would leave the house. I would try to walk home. Could never settle in an unfamiliar environment. I really struggled having friends over as well. Like 1 minute I'd be playing, and the next minute I just want them to leave. I'd just start doing my own thing and just I'd want them to leave. My social battery is about 5%, and this is okay. This isn't anything to be like guilty or shameful about. It's important to honor our standards. I find it really difficult to just be around energy in general, just different people. I can sense the presence of other people, not in a kind of a ghostly way, but just I can feel when someone's eyes are on me. I can feel when I'm perceived. And I don't like it. I don't like the idea of being watched. It puts me off anything. I had a really nice job for a while. I was cleaning in a empty building, and I would go in there and I would clean it in a way that I deemed efficient. And then one day they installed cameras, and it's not that they were watching me work through the cameras, but the thought that someone could be watching me, I just couldn't perform properly. I felt like I was on stage all of a sudden and just couldn't relax properly. I would get in this overstimulation just from the idea of being perceived. If I have to perform a task and there's people watching, I immediately mess it up, like without fail. And this awkwardness isn't necessarily, it doesn't really have anything to do with shyness. It's just like a social uncomfortability just in general. I think the best thing you can do is just try to be as honest as possible with people. Tell them that you have a very limited social battery. Coming out as autistic to friends, family, it's now on them to, either accept that or, sadly, in some cases, maybe abandon you. But being honest about your diagnosis, I feel like I'm finally finding my sweet spot with socializing. I feel like I'm finally finding that balance. I'm a lot less withdrawn than I was like at the start of the year. When I first came to terms with my diagnosis and realized how unsustainably I was living and how heavily I was masking, I took a massive step back and I barely saw anyone for like a long time. And now I'm slowly edging back into having some kind of social life, having a social life that is sustainable. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave some questions in the comment section. I am hoping to do a 5,000 sub Q&A special video, so please drop some questions. But yeah, this was just a quick talking session on socializing, friends, relationships. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.